Fact, we are not racist. Fact, we are not terrorists. Fact, we are all citizens. And with when we look at everything that's taking place right now, you guys are helping us make our point. I actually welcome dialogue. We are not calling for the destruction or the tearing down of this monument.
What's that sign say?
Once again,
What's that sign say?
fact.
What's that shit?
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to back up. You can go to the sidewalk and speak freely, but I'm asking you to give us our space. We gave you your space. Go to the sidewalk, and I'll be more than happy to.
What's that sign say?
Does it say destroy?
It says take it down.
That does not mean destroy,
It says take it down. That's the same fucking
because you can take it down and set it back up in a new location. As far as when you look at the Civil War cemeteries that are here, 13-year veteran here, so I can respect it as a veteran. Now with that,
Read that. Read that.
it being relocated to a Civil War cemetery, the sign says dedicated to those that fought for the cause. Where are those people buried right now?
Thing's been sitting here 100 years.
And you can take it still, and it's been an issue still for that. So the reason why we are asking for it to be taken down is the reason why we're asking for it to be relocated is it doesn't matter if I'm a black male, it doesn't matter if you have a Jewish person, it doesn't matter if you have a Native American person, an indigenous person, it doesn't matter if you have a Muslim person.
Please.
This place,
For the sake of my mother, at least.
this
Just
place
deny
is
it.
a hall of justice.
We got plenty of
And for those of you that actually study your amendments of the Constitution, the 14th Amendment to the Constitution does state that you will have equal justice for all. The cause that Louisiana had for joining the Civil War was to maintain its economy. Awesome, cool. The reason for it to maintain its economy, it made a lot of money off of those crops. But how did you maintain the crops? You maintained the crops by African American slaves.
Where did we get those African American slaves? Your own people.
So with that,
Your own people.
when we go ahead and we state peacefully,
That gentleman right there.
you will not get an F-bomb out of me. You will not get an N-word out of me. You won't get any other profane language out of me. Because when you have two sides that are speaking heated in anger, from a distance, nobody can tell who's right and who's wrong. Now, for the past two weekends, I have put out an open invitation to discuss without any profanity and letting each other speak. If I were to speak, I would let someone else speak. So
No,
when we go
I got
ahead
insomnia.
Oh, is that what it is?
and we have a full
I'm sleep
discussion
deprived.
Sleep if you want.
without profanity,
I ain't asking you to.
that's fine.
I can though.
But making threats,
Nah. I prefer to go
making
home.
threats, Aiden, don't engage.
Okay, I have a
And
question.
since-
Ask you a question.
But with that being said, I'm going to finish what I have to say. But yes, I'll go ahead and repeat it for those that can't hear it. That's how equal I am. In spite of how angry I am at some points in times. Yes. What's your question about profanity, sir?
I have a question.
I offered to debate you anytime, any place, fair debate, and y'all won't do it. Anytime you want to.
Sir, you sat down last week and you got up 8 times to get away from the conversation and reset. It's not that we wouldn't have the discussion. He stated that he offered to debate us anywhere, anytime. The Speaker's Corner has actually been here for 2 Saturdays now, every Saturday. And we welcome an open discussion. But the only thing with that is, A, refrain from profanity, both sides. B, you don't hint at physical violence. I don't care how many rifles, I don't care how many open carries are out there. That's fine. That's your freedom to carry.
Okay.
I don't care how good of a boxer or MMA specialist or kung fu artist or I don't care. Because I just care about the discussion, the dialogue.
Well, let's talk.
If you can't see the point of division that's being caused right now between family, between blood,
Hey,
then you guys are blind to the issue.
hey,
All lives matter.
I can talk without using profanity. My point is, you said you served this country?
Yes, sir.
Did
Yes,
you
I
bleed
did
for
serve
it?
this country.
Did you have brothers die for it?
Yes.
Then what the hell are you doing? What are you doing, man?
So let's put it this way. If you had a Gulf War monument that was right here on site, I would say that that's an inappropriate site for it still, because this is a hall of justice. Now, if it were in a city park, if it were in a museum, if it were on any other block but the 501 Texas Street address that it's located at, then I would gladly go ahead and say, yes, it has a right as a piece of art to be anywhere in the city.
How long
But
has it been here?
when you have, it's been here for 114 years.
My point.
This was a capital at one time as a
But with that being said, let me respond to that, since he said, how long has it been here for? So, for those of you that didn't join us here for last week, let me give you a brief education before we go back to our musical break. And I have to go ahead and speak with our fine officers that are blessing us with their presence today. Thank you all, officers. I do appreciate you. I'm not here to be a nuisance. I'm not here to do anything but to speak peacefully. The Emancipation Proclamation was passed on January the 1st of 1863. 2.5 years later is when finally slaves were given their freedom to go ahead and live where they want, work where they want, work for whoever they wanted
No,
to.
they weren't.
But with that,
They were not. They had to do what the Yankees told them.
that was 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation.
The Yankees made them
When you
fight
focus
back.
on
The Yankees made
when
them
you
back
focus
to
on
slavery.
40 years afterwards,
The Yankees put them back to
when you
slavery.
focus on 40 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, when this statue was erected, that was a direct affront to the freedom that was granted to those people that were slaves.
Except Booker T. Washington paid for it.
All the way in there.
Do you have proof that Booker T. Washington
Paid for it.
paid for the monument? Show me your proof.
It happened.
No, I don't need hearsay. I work based on facts. If you can show me that, then you will have my respect for the research that you've done. But I need facts. I don't need hearsay. 1905, the statue was erected. 1906 is when it was uncovered to the general public. I do my research. Now, once again, to me, this monument, yes, it's a piece of art. I'm an artist. I'm a spoken word artist. I'm a performing arts major. I can go ahead and I can recant different lines that speak on why we should or shouldn't be here about a monument.
Leave it alone.
But when I look at a monument
It belongs to everybody.
that's dedicated to those that actually wanted to keep the system of slavery in place strictly to pad their pockets.
Bullshit,
You're right. Boo.
bullshit,
Boo them.
bullshit,
Boo them.
Bullshit. Booing you.
I like it when we can bring people over, because when they say boo, you're right. Boo to that system.
No, boo to this bullshit. This thing has been here for over 100 years. Why do you gotta
I'm
come
sorry,
around
I
now
couldn't
with
hear
your-
anything after I
your
heard
full
BS.
outrage?
So when he says BS, and then he says that he can speak,
Tiny little scrawny ugly. That's what this is. He ain't shit.
but I digress.
Clearly, dude.
It actually takes a lot to bite a tongue.
Do you want proof? I've got it right
So
here.
I'm going to focus on this.
You probably want to do that.
It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter what religion you are. It doesn't matter what your sexual preference is. It doesn't matter what your financial background is. It doesn't matter. When you walk into the Caddo Parish Courthouse, you should expect equal justice when you go in.
Who says you don't get it?
And if you lose when you come out, How can you not say a monument that's dedicated to discrimination? How can you expect equal justice for all?
Officer!
Hey.
There you go. That's a good officer.
But if you're looking at whether it's a claimant or a defendant, if you win, you can still have a guilty conscience walking out. Because who's to say that they got equal justice with a monument dedicated to discrimination here?
You want proof? You want proof? You want proof?
I have a life, and I have a voice. Everybody here has a voice. I hear your voice.
Yours is amplified. You got proof? You want proof? I got proof. I got proof.
Monuments got nothing to do with the court system.
Nothing at all. This is just another excuse.
Is it on courthouse grounds, ma'am? I can hear you fine before you got your megaphone. Do you have the deed that shows who the monument belongs to?
We're tired of excuses.
So if you have the deeds and the paperwork that show this, the place to actually take care of this, the place to take care of this, the place to take care of this is the Caddo Parish Commission. The place to take care of this is with your city council members.
That's private property. We gotta take care of shit. It's most people.
So with that being said, every time that I've tried to respond, I've responded without profanity. I've responded maintaining emotion, keeping it in check. But show me the fact. Show me the fact. I need to go ahead and I need to see the deed in print. I need to see the deed in print. I need to see the paperwork in print. Right now, what he's speaking about, he's not talking about the ownership of the property, of the statue, or the land that he's on. He's talking, what he's talking about, I'm letting them know what you're speaking on. I know exactly. He's speaking about the fact that BTW, Booker T. Washington, helped pay for the monument. That's what he's showing effect on. Before I go and I talk with him calmly, the same way that I'm talking right now on a public forum at the sidewalk, that's where we can talk commonly together, respectfully. Every time somebody had something to say, I tried to address it. The moment you throw profanity into it, I stop listening.
Here's an idea. I won't even cuss at you. Go talk peacefully to your people burning down America, and
Ma'am,
then we can talk. Go talk peacefully to them. And
These
calm
are
them
my
down.
people.
Calm them down. That is
These
burning
are
America.
my people.
Calm the ones down that are shooting our police.
These
That's
are
who
my
you need to
people.
talk to.
And you just sat here and cursed at my people.
I
These
don't give a
are
care
my
if I
people.
did or not.
Exactly.
If you want to calm down America, start with your people first.
When you look at responses like that, for people that just want to be
Are
heard
you
but don't
blind?
want to hear,
Are you blind what they're doing in America?
they
Are you
have
blind?
nothing to gain from
Why
this
don't you
other
go
than
calm
voice
your
their own
people
opinion.
down?
So with that,
Calm your people down. Calm your people down in America, shooting our police and shooting our children. Calm them down first.
8 minutes and 46 seconds starts now. There will be no music played. There will be no one speaking at the microphone for the next 18,
Film me, boo-boo. Film me.
17,
Fuck you and Antifa.
16,
Fuck a BLM,
15,
fucking Antifa, and fuck you too. Film
14,
it, motherfucker. Put me all over Facebook. I don't give a damn.
13,
Okay.
Dox me.
12,
I own my fucking business. Dox me.
11,
Okay.
Call the boss.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. For the remainder of the time frame that we go through, for the next 8 minutes and 46 seconds, no one from our side will speak in respect of all victims of police violence.
Did you get that on film? Tell your people you ran from us.
It's just
And
like
then
Donnie
call for
Bickham
the
all over
police.
again.
The ones you don't like, because we sure got
Did
it
you
on
get a
film.
chance to rebuttal on your microphone?
You can't answer because you
Without profanity? Good. You have a chance to rebuttal on your microphone
Are we
without
supposed to be
profanity?
quiet right now?
Why can't I have a rebuttal? All lives matter, right?
No, because that includes pedophiles.
Police officers' lives matter. Y'all killing them left and freaking right. More black people kill black people in Chicago than white people kill anybody all year long. In one weekend. Not that much.
Oh, okay.
Y'all killing your own selves. We mind? No, we don't mind at all. Talking about racial equality. Why can't I get
They don't
in the
care what you're
gremlin?
saying. They don't
Because
give
I'm
a
not
damn.
black.
They will never give a damn what we're
Why they
saying.
give a black man a job before me even though I'm more qualified? Because I'm not black
They
enough.
somehow think they have the right to take down our actual history that our ancestors fought for.
It's not
Black,
about BLM.
black
White
Confederates
wear shirts,
fought
you
for
can't
too.
breathe.
Black Confederates fought
Just like
for
you breathe
too.
fine to me.
The statue didn't bother you for 154 motherfucking years, though. It did when you wanted to shoot the police, though. That's your end. Ain't none of your motherfucking people slaves. And you sure as fuck wasn't a slave, white girl. Fucking traitor to her race. Yeah, I get that on film. I said it. Traitor to your race. And your mama raised you real fucking wrong. You gotta be ashamed of yourself. White children being murdered by these motherfuckers in the street, and you sitting there white and think you're fucking justified. You're not justified. And they don't give a fuck about you. You and you, mama and son, are fucking pawns in their goddamn game. And when they're done using you, they're gonna fucking end you, dumbasses.
Your kid's stoned, by the way. Your kid looks all fucking stoned. What's he on? What you on, punk?
No fucker never served in the military, that's for sure.
Fucking high, right?
You gotta raise your son to be a fucking patriot instead of a fucking pussy.
Yeah, nice man burn.
His little skinny ass couldn't even hold himself in a fucking fight.
And you.
Your mama couldn't either, that's why she walked away. You're a bunch of pussy line. That's why you don't know American history.
You're a cute one. Look at it.
Come from the line of pussies. That make you feel good, coward? Our people fought and died. How about yours? You're not even black. You're white as fuck. Maybe a little Mexican. Your mama probably fucking crossbreeds. That's how those kind of people are. Get it on film, boo-boo. Read your little comments and laugh. That's all you do is sit on Facebook and dox people. Bunch of fucking coward ass pussies. And you too, and you too, and you too, motherfucker.
I agree with you.
No, you don't, because you're on that side.
Oh, no, I just got here.
Well,